All right, let's be real for a second. Are you already tired of that whole new year, new me cycle that, well, just never seems to stick? I totally get it. But what if I told you the problem isn't you? It's not your motivation, it's not your ambition, it's the tool you're using.
You've probably tried a vision board at some point, right? And look, if it didn't really work out, there's a very good reason why. Most of them are basically designed to fail. They're built for fantasy, for daydreaming, not for the reality of how our minds actually get things done. But don't worry, we're going to fix that today. So let's get one thing straight right from the start. This is not about some quick hit of inspiration that completely fizzles out by February. No, this is about mental architecture. It's a deep, structural change to the way you think. We're not just putting a little extra fuel in the tank, we are building a brand new engine from the ground up.
And you can see that shift perfectly right here. On the left, you've got the old school dream board. It's all about fantasy, pretty pictures, and just a list of things you want. But on the right, that's where we're headed. The identity board. This is all about execution. It's about using words. And most importantly, it's about who you are becoming. Okay, so let's dig into the core problem. Why do those vision boards we see everywhere? You know the ones covered in sports cars, fancy watches, tropical vacations. Why do they almost always fall flat? Here it is. This is the absolute key. Your brain doesn't chase pictures. It obeys your identity. Think of it like this. Your self-image is like a thermostat in your house. If you see yourself as an undisciplined person, you can stare at a photo of a marathon runner all day long. But your brain's main job is to pull you right back to what feels familiar, back to that undisciplined setting. This is literally why people self-sabotage. The success feels weird and unfamiliar. The brain just wants to go back home. So when I say identity, what does that even mean? It's simply the subconscious label you've given yourself. It's the operating system that's running in the background 24/7. And that label, it's the cause. Everything else in your life, your income, your habits, your relationships, those are all just the effects. If you can change the cause, well, the effects have no choice but to follow. So if that's the problem, what on earth is the solution? It's actually simple, but it's a huge shift in perspective. We have to completely reframe the entire purpose of a vision board. It is not a tool for dreaming. It is a tool for conditioning your mind to accept a new reality as normal. And it all boils down to asking yourself one incredibly powerful question. A real vision board forces you to ask this. Who must I become so that this life becomes normal to me? Do you see the difference? The focus totally shifts from the external stuff you want to get to the internal person you need to be. Once you become that person, all that other stuff, it's not a goal anymore. It's just a natural side effect of who you are. Now, here's a rule that might sound a little strange at first. If your vision board makes you feel all warm and fuzzy and comfortable, it's probably useless. A truly powerful board should actually make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, uncomfortable. It should create this little bit of healthy tension, a quiet, constant reminder that says, hey, the current version of you cannot stay. That discomfort, that is the catalyst for all real change. Okay, theory is great, but how do we actually build this thing? Let's get practical. I'm going to walk you through the blueprint right now. We're going to build this board using 4 distinct layers of mental architecture. So here are the 4 layers we're going to construct, one by one. Layer 1 is identity, that is who you are. Layer 2 is standards, that's how you live. Layer 3 is your environment, that's where you operate. And finally, layer 4 is money, but we're going to approach that in a totally different way than you're used to. Layer 1 is the foundation, and the rule is simple. Words, not pictures of objects. Your brain runs on labels, so you have to give it the right ones. You need to explicitly define the traits of your future self. Look, you've probably heard this before, but it's so true. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your identity. So choose these words very, very carefully. Next up, layer 2, standards. Okay, for this one, I want you to completely forget about pictures of the finish line or the trophy. This layer is all about the process. It's the early mornings, the difficult conversations, the extra hour of work, the stuff no one ever sees or claps for. Your board must show the grind, because the grind is what convinces your brain that the rewards are both earned and deserved. Layer 3 is all about your environment. This one is huge because your physical space is a direct reflection of your mental space. A cluttered desk, a messy room, these things create internal chaos. So your board should represent an environment of focus, of order, and of control. It doesn't have to be luxury, but it has to be orderly. This primes your mind for clarity and discipline. And finally, let's talk about money. This is where so many vision boards go wrong. Instead of focusing on a specific number, which is just a desire, your board needs to focus on the identity of someone who manages money well. Think about it. It's about becoming competent, strategic, and calm with your finances. Money respects structure, not just raw emotion. So now, you've built the board, but a blueprint is useless without construction, right? This next part, honestly, this is everything. This is the rule that turns a passive decoration into an active, powerful tool for transformation. This is the activation question, and it's so simple. Every single time you look at your board, you have to ask yourself this: what would this version of me do today? Not what you feel like doing, not what's easy, but what would the person described on that board, that disciplined, focused, strategic version of you, what would they do right now? And here's the key that locks it all in. You must immediately take one small action that aligns with that answer. And I mean small. It could be 10 minutes of reading, cleaning your desk for 5 minutes, or just making one phone call. That immediate action sends a powerful signal to your brain. It says, see, this is who we are now. This quote says it all, doesn't it? Without that tiny daily proof of action, your vision board is just a collection of daydreams. It's a hallucination. The action is what makes it real. It's what closes that gap between the person you are today and the person you are becoming. Okay, as we bring it home, let's lock in the real goal of this whole process and cover some of the common traps that you absolutely need to avoid. Please avoid these common mistakes. Don't change your board every week. Give it time to sink in. Don't overload it with 50 different goals. Keep it focused. Don't use it just for a temporary jolt of motivation. And maybe most important, don't share it with everybody. Treat it like a private contract between you and your future self. Because the real prize here isn't the car or the money. The real goal is to evolve so completely, to become so internally strong that your old habits and your old way of thinking start to feel, well, a little embarrassing. When you reach that point, the external world just starts to rearrange itself to match who you've become inside. And that is the final thought I want to leave you with. Stop using vision boards as a way to escape your reality. Instead, use this new model as a strategic tool to methodically outgrow the person you are today. The goal isn't just to get somewhere else, it's to become someone else entirely.